Hello and welcome to Meet the Authors. We're here at the Florida Writers Association in Orlando with over 500 authors, and we have some great authors who are interviewing about their books and their potential books, some editors and publishers, and the one we have for your pleasure right now is Janet Little. Janet, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you for inviting me, Philip.
I'm so excited to have you. You've got some great books. You have two published and your third one coming out.
Right.
Let's start with what you have.
Okay, this is the first book that I wrote, and it came out 4 years ago. It's called Worth Her Weight. And this is a story of a gal who was overweight all her life, who manages to diet and exercise her weight down, and then ends up falling for a local fitness celebrity.
Oh, how about that?
And
so there's a moral in there somewhere.
Yeah, right. But she's afraid to tell him that she once was very overweight.
Yeah.
And so she's sort of keeping that secret from him. But meanwhile, he's got a devious publicist who wants him to leave the local area and go back to California.
A male or female?
Female.
Oh,
yeah.
A little love triangle there, huh?
A little bit. And so she
We'll put this down so it doesn't block your
Oh,
head
okay.
face.
So she works to disrail the relationship.
Oh.
And she does it in the way that the main character has often had it been attacked before with bullying.
Oh.
So the main character must face down one more bully in order to prove that she's worth her weight, no matter what it is. Yeah. And then the second book, which came out last year, is called The State of the Heart.
I like the way these books, they have the same fonts and color scheme. You really have that. And the third book's going to be that way too.
Yes.
But start with it. Keep on with this one.
Okay. This is based on a house rehabber because my husband and I spent our whole lives rehabbing fine old homes. And so this is about a house. We didn't rehab it, but we were thinking about it.
Okay.
And so in this, the rehabber, Cam Coleman, is taking on her riskiest and biggest historical restoration. And she also takes on an apprentice, and she makes two big mistakes. She falls in love with the house that she must sell, and she falls in love with her apprentice.
Oh, those sound like big problems, all right.
Yeah.
I really love your plots. They're really based on realism and a sense of the things that everybody runs into all the time, and very interesting interactions. You have great plots.
I label myself as the love, laughter, and real life author.
Oh, I love it. Love, laughter, and real life.
Yeah, so that's what I find I write about. The best thing I love is when a reader will tell me that the book made them laugh and cry.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm working for. So my third book, which I plan to have out next month, is called Glass Promises, and this is a book about, as this book was about body image, and this book was about trust, book number 3 is about infidelity. And it's a story of a woman whose husband died with his mistress. And now her 4-year-old daughter wants a daddy.
Yeah.
So she's pushing her into the dating scene again.
The daughter's pushing, the 4-year-old's pushing mama. You gotta give me a daddy, gotta give me a daddy, yeah.
Right, so this is a book where she has to decide, she herself does not have a father. The mother grew up without one, and so she doesn't really want her daughter to grow up without one either. But is she really ready to risk her heart again?
So quickly after that infidelity.
Which is hence the title, Glass Promises, because as many women know, oftentimes that's what they end up hearing.
I hear all sorts of promises that are easily broken. And you told me the cover is going to look like this. It's going to have a glass heart with a crack on it.
It's going to have a man's hands holding a glass heart that's cracked. Yeah, I like books that don't have an actual character on them so that my readers can sort of form their own idea.
Get their own image,
of what the main characters look like, yeah.
Yeah, and your stories are so realistic and so heartfelt, real life things. I like that. And this one's won an award. Tell me about the award.
Yes, 2 years ago, this won a second place award here at the Florida Writers Association for the second best published romance.
Nice. And these are, you classify them as romance books?
Yes, they are contemporary romance books.
And who does your publishing?
It's an independent press called Telemachus Press. Wonderful. They do a fabulous job. In fact, Telemachus Press publishes all of Lawrence Block's Matthew Scudder books. Published 12 Years a Slave.
That's a pretty popular book.
And published The Martian.
Oh, The Martian, the one that made into a big movie.
And the same with 12 Years a Slave. So they do, I think, a very professional job. And I had them do the first book because I was such a novice with publishing. You know, I didn't know IBSN numbers and Library of Congress and formatting. And they very nicely walked me through the process. And so I've decided they're worth the price. But I retain all the rights to these books. I own everything with them. I just pay them for their services. And I think they produce a very nice book.
That's really so important. Now, I say this all the time. My books are self-published, but I've done a lot of them, so I know how to do a lot of the stuff. And particularly new authors, it's so helpful to have a professional or semi-professional publishing company do these types of things. Get your covers together and the ISBN. They usually won't help you market. That's something you got to do on your own.
No, you have to do that on your own.
No matter who you are, but unless you're like a Greg Iles or somebody. But still, a beginning author particularly, I think it's very worthwhile going that way.
The first thing I would recommend for a new author is to get your manuscript professionally edited.
That's so important.
Pay the money.
We're hearing that over and over at this conference, that if you're going to spend money on your book, don't spend it initially on advertising, don't spend it on promotion, spend it on your own book.
Put out the best product that you can. That's the first thing you do. Because regardless of how much you spend in advertising or promotion, if the product isn't any good, nobody's going to buy it anyway.
And they'll remember that for your next book. And so if they love your first book, they'll go after it. If they don't like your first book, they're not
going to give your second book a try, even if it's much, much better.
And how do you promote your books?
Well, that's one thing I'm doing at this conference, is that I'm attending a lot of the marketing workshops, because I know I need to do more of it. And the problem is, it's just like paying the bills and doing laundry. It's not something I want to do, but it's something I know I have to do.
We have to do it, I know. That's what I always say. Writing is the easiest part.
Oh, that's a breeze.
Yeah. Editing's next hardest, publishing's next hardest, but the hardest of all is the marketing.
Exactly. And so I know I need to do more of it, especially with the new book coming out. It's a perfect opportunity for me to begin the promotion and begin the push prior to it coming out, and then tack these other books onto it.
Do you want to read a paragraph or two?
This is when the main character, Brienne, her sister has talked her to going to the grand opening of this new fitness center. "Why did I let you talk me into this? Come on, it'll be fun," Emma said when Brienne fastened her seatbelt. Fun was not a word Brienne ever associated with fitness centers. She hated the whole workout at a facility environment. Mirrors everywhere that pointed out the bulges you couldn't hide, stranger sweat that permeated the air until you went nose blind to it, the acoustical torture of unrelenting music and clanging of metal on metal. Brienne preferred her exercise to be a solitary endeavor. Watching, smelling, and listening to others work out was like being in an open restroom with people taking dumps.
That's funny. Janet, it's been great having you on the show.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it immensely.
And thank you for inviting us into your home. And keep tuning in. We'll be back with more authors on Meet the Authors.